Well, I got done cutting for the day, so I think I'll have a little bit of possible dinner here. We'll find a little place to make a fire. There's an old bluff system here. We've got some rain coming, so I know enough to get out of this. I need to get down here and possible have shelter if it would blow up before the meal was completed. Try to find a nice place to set up a fire and cook up some Morel mushrooms that I picked today. And also some turkey tenderloin off a wild turkey that a fellow had got this morning. I didn't have time to hunt, and he got it and was gracious enough to let me have a couple pieces of breast with the tenderloin on it, on the turkey. So we'll cook that up real quick and have a bite of dinner. I think this looks pretty good right up here. Maybe in here, possibly. Kind of like this little setup here. Or we could go back. That's not too bad right over there. We'll get a little place set up and get a fire going here. Pretty much use what is here in nature, of course. It's already been here and provided for. Many small branches off of these older trees will make really good tinder to get this fire going. And I may have to walk around and pick up a bit more. Don't take too much. Some finer material. We'll find it here and to make a start to the fire. Now, one of the things we will use is like these ferns, for example. This is dry from the year before, and so this stuff will help the fire to start very quickly, and it won't hurt these ferns at all. Make good nests for the birds, that's for darn sure. we'll just use a few of these, break these off, and that will really get that fire going. And I think that will, then we'll add our larger tinder, and there we go. Now while that is getting to a nice bed of coals, over here we have the Morel mushrooms that I found a little bit earlier. And there's a nice turkey breast that a good friend had harvested that turkey this morning and gave to me. I just didn't have time to go, so I'm going to eat that tenderloin, which is this piece right here. I'm going to take that home. I might even do both tenderloins. And he kept the other breast and the legs and such as that. But we'll do that turkey, fry that up, and some morels here in a minute. Okay. We'll do some flour here I've got with me. Let's see, we'll go ahead. I use it, and in everyone it depends. I use a little bit of garlic salt on stuff. I've always been kind of keen on it, quite a bit actually. And I love pepper and things. And the chicken breast, I'll cut that up, that tenderloin. A little bit of pepper, and you don't have to, but I even like a little bit of seasoned salt or Lowry's. That's what this is. Same thing, a little bit of garlic in there, and what have you. And then we'll just, I don't do egg on the mushrooms, even at home I don't. Some people do. But you do have to cook these mushrooms because raw they have a stomach irritant. So you don't want to play around with that. And I'll lay them here until I'm ready to drop them. I'm going to use oil, a little bit of cooking oil. And that gets everything cooked very well. Because I've got to do this. I'll put the oil in there and heat it shortly. And probably that tenderloin, I actually won't cut it up, it's fine like that. I've done that quite a bit. We'll just flour that a little bit lightly. You don't have to, and you can pan fry it. I mean, it's okay that way. We'll lay that, there's nothing here that's going to hurt you. This is all natural outdoors. There's nothing. There's bacteria, but the fire will take care of that in hot oil by all means very quickly. Now there we've got a nice heat to our oil and a nice mess of the mushrooms in there. I wanted to make a note. My grammar is a little bit out of sorts because I'm from the Ozarks here in Missouri, and sometimes we say things a lot different than other people do, but So just a forewarning, I don't pronounce things according to the way a lot of people would. So here we're getting the mushrooms on. Then we'll throw that turkey tenderloin in there, and we're going to have some real fine eating out here in the outdoors. And I'd also like to add, a word of warning. Folks, check out your regulations and know where you're at. For example, here in Missouri, we don't have much trouble with fires getting out, except for, say, when it's really windy in the month of March and dry, just before the heavy spring rains come. But if you're on the West Coast, really be careful. And national parks anywhere, they're treasures. And, any government land or private land, disrespect other people's property, and don't let a fire get out. This will not burn here. There's no peat moss or anything. This is all sandstone, which, another thing you have to watch too, cooking. Now, these stones can pop, but I've done it enough that I know my heat and my limits. So be wary when cooking around stone. That can pop and possibly harm you, or spill the grease and cause a flash fire. There's lots of things that can happen, but it's all fun learning to cook outdoors. And each individual area has different foods, different ways to cook everything. So this is just one way, the way I do it, one of the ways. So we're going to get these mushrooms off of here pretty quick and get that tenderloin in there and get it going before we lose our fire here in a bit. There we have our turkey tenderloin frying up there. Now, something I do, when I put the mushrooms on the sandstone, it was clean, I blew it off before, and I let that oil soak out of those mushrooms onto that sandstone. I've done that for years. That leaves a treat from anything that is fried or greasy in any way. For the coons, they'll come along to the coons at night, and they just love that. Possums and different little animals, and I guess there's whatever out here, but they a lot of times lick that plumb clean before daylight. So I do that, let those drain out. I don't need napkins in that manner. You can use leaves that are clean, and but I'll transfer them over to my plate here in a bit. But we've got the tenderloin frying up there. It'll be really good. We'll probably actually go ahead and, like I say, these mushrooms are crispy, so I'm going to transfer them on over to a plate here. Something funny is, many people would pay a heavy price to have a meal like this. And you can have this if you choose to be a professional outdoors person like I have my whole life. I've always been outdoors and worked outdoors, action careers, things like that, logging and ranching, and a lot of subsistence living, subsistence, fishing and hunting, things like that. It just came natural living in where I did, in the middle of nowhere, but it's very rewarding. Moments like this, you just don't forget them. And there's countless ones, but it just makes life really grand to have experiences like this. I mean, look at this. So beautiful. I mean, just a beautiful, beautiful area. It's the bluff system of caves and overhangs, and just really neat. And some of that's hard to see over there, but and that's where we came from earlier. Just really thankful to have the opportunity to have these experiences. And someday, if I'm old in a nursing home or rest home, Alzheimer's might take this away, but if it doesn't, think of the memories, the mental photographs that I will have that many others will never know. And there's many ways to cook this turkey and these mushrooms. I just did this today, for example, because I had planned on having fresh bass and perch, what a lot of people call brim, from fishing or possible crappie and white bass. But since I got the turkey, I thought, well, I would go ahead and use it. You know, it was a resource and from nature, and use it up with the mushrooms. So I'll having mushrooms and turkey instead of mushrooms and fish. Well, there you have it, the finished product. I already ate a little piece of the turkey. I was really hungry, so I'm gonna take care of this, and I'm gonna clean this up here and leave it pretty much as I found it. That'll all be the stones redistributed, and some sand, stone and loose sand put in that fire area once it goes out. I'm gonna use a little water I have here to put it out. But bon appetit. Thought I might add this on, a little drive out of the job here. We'll maybe include it a minute or two. It's extremely steep terrain. Get up out of here. Spring in Missouri, everything's in full bloom, leaf out. It's getting it done quickly. Some pretty tight turns in here with a lot of stuff we've got to watch out for. Really tear a vehicle up bad. It's not too awful far up out of here, probably about 200 yards out to an open area, small field that's being let grow up into a stand of timber. It'll be long after my time here on this earth is done that those trees that we will see shortly will be harvested, and many of these. Some of these, oh, there's a few we've seen here that will mature in 15 years, but most of them are going to be a long time. Stand straight ahead of oak, white oak, mostly white oak and red oak. Have to go in, probably thin out a lot of the hickories and things like that in a few years if I'm able to for them. And there are trails all over this property with lots of young timber growing. Really nice stand here. Oaks, left and right both. That can be fixed up. We're in the clear now.